Okay, let's set the scene. You just walked in late to an absolute rager of a party. Right when you walk into the party, there's a bunch of people lining all the walls, either out cold or holding onto consciousness by a mere thread. Like, these guys are so inebriated, you're pretty confident that you could confess murder to them, and by the next morning, you'll be pretty confident that that secret is still safe with you. That person you told is a perfect example of how there's different levels of consciousness. Okay, so what am I talking about when I say levels of consciousness? Well, if you look it up, you'll see an article published by Barrett Academy stating that there are 7 levels to consciousness, starting at 1, survival instincts, going up to 7, compassion and forward thinking. Yeah, firstly, I don't like the idea of there being hard set levels, because how are you 100% sure that you're in one level and not the other one? It's kind of like that Sorites paradox where there's a heap of sand and you keep taking a grain away, and then eventually you don't know whenever it's not a heap anymore. And secondly, in my professional opinion, I don't like how they answered the question. So let's wipe all that out and I'll paint you a picture of what I think it should look like. Okay, just imagine a very deep pool, and it's so deep to where if you get to the bottom of it, you cannot see because all the light has been filtered out by the water. That total darkness is you being unconscious, and the surface of that pool is the state that you're ideally in right now. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How are you going to know what level someone is in if there's no set dividers in the first place? Well, I would try to tackle that very question, but there is a time restraint, so I'm just going to ask you to make an educated guess. Okay, so let's get started with the very first depth, and it is written in our notes as waking consciousness. This depth, like I said earlier, is ideally the one you are all at right now, give or take maybe a couple of us. At this point, you are fully aware of your surroundings, thoughts, and feelings. Reaching this level is harder for some people than others, which leads to the use of stimulants like caffeine or nicotine in order to get by and function on day-to-day tasks. On to the next depth that I think most people are usually around. It's also one step closer to unconsciousness. I've named this level affected or drowsy. Now, if you can't tell from just the name alone, at this level, your ability to think or focus has been impaired by a certain number of things. It could be as simple as insufficient sleep or low blood sugar, which could lead someone to not be able to think clearly or suffer from confusion at any given point. I believe this level is often escaped from, again, through the use of stimulants or medications, sending them back up towards the lesser depths. Okay, we're starting to make it to the big leagues here. Before this point, you could chalk an altered level up to common issues like lower quality sleep or not eating enough. Now we've hit the level that some people may be reaching intentionally, like those people that I mentioned in the hypothetical at the start. I would like to call this level inebriation. Although the name suggests that you could only reach this level by intoxication or drunkenness, although it's not the same. Another way could be maybe you lose a lot of sleep. You're at 0 or 2 hours of sleep for a given day. That could leave you in a pretty rough state also. Most people at this level are in a state that is almost not even here anymore. Like, they're kind of just in their own world, you know? People in this state are either seen having a great time or just seem to be flat out miserable. Okay, finally, we've hit the deep dark level here. Now, I could have named this level something like unconscious or whatever, but I thought of a way better name, a way cooler name. I'm calling this depth the trench, like the Mariana Trench, because deep. Like you'd assume, this level is the deepest that you can go. And just like the bottom of the ocean, there is absolutely no light here. You cannot see a thing because you're unconscious. Duh. Which is interesting because you spend so much of your life unconscious in order to reach that peak consciousness, the very shallow end. I looked it up. Here's a reminder that us humans sleep about 1/3 of our lives. So I guess make the most of the 2/3. Anyways, that concludes my attempt at identifying the levels, aka depths of consciousness. I don't know how to close out this video nicely. So Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.